and I understand that. But at the same time, I think there's realistic expectations with our circumstances, and you can win one game per week, and this week it happens to be against the Chiefs, and we're going to have to play, a great game in order to beat those guys.
Now here's some numbers, right? Part of these struggles, they can't convert on third down. They're 39%. That's their worst since 2013. They're under 50% in the red zone with touchdowns as well. First time that's happened in forever. It's been a very long time. And I was fascinated by the two words that he used there. Realistic expectations with our circumstances. What exactly does that mean? What exactly are realistic expectations? Because in Foxborough, the expectations are winning the championship.
And there's a reason why he offered for AB to stay at his house. Tom Brady knew. Tom Brady knew back in, September, early or late August, that he was going to need help. I continue to go back to the word trust. And I know there's some people out there that aren't liking that, but the reality is this, when it comes, football players are moments. You can't think, I'm going to look at this receiver and give him a chance in the third quarter because he potentially might get open. Trust is like a forest. It takes a long time to grow, and it can burn down really fast. And we've seen that trust, receiver to receiver to receiver, burn down as the season's gone on. We watched it on national television on Sunday Night Football. Brady trusts one guy, and that's the realistic expectation. That was he saying. I have one guy that I feel that whether it's first, second, or third down, that if I have time to get him the football, I believe he'll get open.
You were there. You were in that locker room. Tell me what that was like.
Well, they're convinced that it will get better, but they're basing that on their history and their belief in the talent of the young guys. He trusts Edelman. And then you saw that third down graphic, right? If Edelman's doubled, where's Gronk? He's gone. Who am I going to throw it to? So you have the young guys. You have N'Keal Harry. You have Jacoby Myers. He's yelling at Myers in that clip because he pointed to him to go upfield, and Myers came back instead. Myers said, I thought he was pointing me to come back to the ball, so I went back to the ball, but it turns out so they are not communicating. I mean, these are guys that were in diapers when Tom Brady entered the league, and he has not established a rapport with them yet to the point where he can trust them. They know it has to get better. They think it can, but...
I go back to the Super Bowl last year. Remember when the Super Bowl last year, when they needed that drive?
Yes.
They went to Edelman, Gronk,
yep.
Right? Or the Edelman, Burkhead, Gronk. Because he had known in his mind, again, football is moments right now, that
he knows what they'll do.
Yes, I know what those guys are going to do. They're going to see it the same way. The ball's going to come out of my hands, and they'll be where they're supposed to be. He's not there, and those receivers are not there. They might get open on a play, but again, is Tom Brady looking at them? Is the offensive line protecting good enough? Because they haven't played good this year as well. So there's reasons why I can boil it down to one word for this offense: trust.
And I'll boil it down to the two he used. Realistic expectations. What exactly are they with the group that they have? Because you mentioned the one guy that they don't. While the Patriots were losing in Houston, Antonio Brown was sort of trolling them, posting hints on Instagram that they need him in Foxborough. AB was released by the Patriots after playing one game in September. In November, sources told ESPN there are teams interested in signing Brown pending the resolution of the NFL's wide-ranging investigation into sexual assault allegations against him. That is obviously very serious stuff, and far more important than anything involving football. But we're a sports show, and Mike Tannenbaum, you were talking to people at the NFL yesterday, because the question that I've had is, if the Patriots aren't trying to make an offer to Antonio Brown or any team trying to bring him back, the NFL is under really no urgency to make some sort of ruling. So how does this thing play out?
That's right. So right now, no one's agitating to sign him, so therefore it's in this state of flux where the commissioner has a rule. There's no sense of urgency on his part. Now, if Team X came along and said, hey, we want to sign Antonio Brown, we don't want to put him on the commissioner exempt list, we want to sign him to our active roster, then the league would move ahead and have to make a decision quickly. So right now, it's kind of in this state of flux.
Is there any way of gauging where the league stands on that, what the thinking is?
At this point, no. At this point, if a team were to sign him, he would probably go on the commissioner's exempt list because the league is not ready to decide on potential discipline as a result of its investigation. At some point, they will be. And they could announce that decision even in advance of someone signing him, saying, okay, he's suspended for the next 3 games, 2 games, 1 game, whatever. And then a team would know, hey, if we sign him, we'll have him for X date. But as of now, they have not reached a conclusion of their investigation, and they don't know whether they're going to suspend him or not. So if you sign him today, he probably goes right on commissioner's exempt.
I wouldn't touch AB. I just wouldn't. I don't think that he's worthy of being in the NFL. I've been outspoken about that. I don't think that Tom Brady or this offense would be able to rely on him. I think that the Patriots have the ability to fix things. I honestly do. Like, if I was the Patriots, I wouldn't sign AB. I'd play Edelman, I'd play Burkhead, I'd play White, I'd play Ben Watson, and I'd play spread out football, no huddle, and I'd go Tom Brady. You got a month, okay? We're going to play no huddle football, we're going to spread everybody out, and you're going to run the line of scrimmage. Get us ready to go win a Super Bowl.
Dan, I'm not defending Antonio Brown, but if he is eligible and he has paid his price, our league has shown, with very few exceptions, that people of his caliber get another opportunity. And if you're a team that's desperate to get to the Super Bowl or the playoffs, and you have a rare and unique opportunity to add somebody of his ability, I believe he would sign once his eligibility was cleared up.
Now, there's such a thing as burning bridges. There's another thing as like blowing them up and going back. He did that with the ownership of the Patriots, which is the one place that is the most difficult to repair. Do we think it is even remotely realistic that the answer to these realistic expectations in New England this year turns out to be Antonio Brown?
I think it's very unlikely that the Patriots go back down that road.
Yeah, and the timing of it as well. If he gets suspended, let's just say they make it. There's only 4 games left now.
And don't forget, like, they're a team that's lacking talent, but they're not lacking cohesion. They're still a team. You don't bring somebody in who can blow up your football team character-wise.
All right, we have more on this as we continue. Meanwhile, very interesting college stuff heading into the last weekend of that season. Elle.
Yeah, to college football, Clemson, a 29-point favorite in Saturday's ACC championship against Virginia. The Tigers have won by at least 30 points in each of their last 7 games. They're rolling, led by Trevor Lawrence, and ETN. The Tigers' offense has now scored in 29 straight quarters. That's the second longest streak by an FBS team this season. Defense has been even better, though. Stop me if you've heard this before. Clemson leads the nation in defensive efficiency, and it's held every single opponent to 20 points or fewer. Yeah, Dabo knows they still have to win on Saturday or else.
It's huge from a national standpoint because obviously if we lose this game, I mean, they're going to kick us out. They don't want us in there anyway. We've dropped to 20, you know. I mean, Georgia loses to this very same team, and the very next day it's how do we keep Georgia in it? We win to the team that beat South Carolina, and it's how do we get Clemson out? It's the dadgummest thing, you know. They can't vote us out. We got to go 30-0. I mean, we ain't got no choice. We don't play nobody. All I can tell you is we 10-1 versus the SEC in our last 11. And we've won 115 games this decade. So has Ohio State, so has Alabama. And we've played both of them. And our program is what people don't focus on.
Okay, well, Dabo brought Georgia into it, so I will too. They've got the 21st ranked strength of schedule to Clemson's 65. Anyway, go ahead and respond to Dabo. They're saying no one wants them in.
Yeah, I think Dabo Swinney is the most annoying winner in all of sports. I mean, the guy just can't keep his trap shut. I mean, somebody just give the man a pacifier, send him to timeout, and we'll check in with him on December 28th when he finally plays a legitimate team during this entire college football season.
Shots fired. I was going to say, tell us how you really feel. Do you think he's right, though? Like, honestly, if they somehow, by some miracle of God, lose to Virginia this weekend, are they out?
Yeah, they would be out because of the perception of the ACC conference and the lack of respect that people have for it. I think that's the hardest part of Dabo's job is they don't have any wiggle room. They cannot have an off Saturday. Again, I say this all the time about college football. These are 18 to 22-year-old kids. They cannot be off because they can't afford a loss where really every other team in the Power 5, maybe outside of the Pac-12, they can afford a loss and still be in the conversation. Listen, this is what Dabo's doing. He's talking to his football team through the media. He knows his football team is so great. He knows that they're going to handle the ACC championship against Virginia, and this is his way of keeping them on edge. He did this in the Florida State game this year. They were up 28-0. They're beating the doors off of Florida State. His kicker goes out and misses like a 30-yard chip shot field goal. This is not going to have any impact on the football game. Watch Dabo's reaction. Watch how he laces into this kicker. This is how he's keeping his football team sharp that he knows has long-term aspirations. He knows they're not going to get tested every week. So he's got to do things to keep them sharp. Clemson's the best team in America to me. I've said that for 2 months now. Clemson is the best football team in the country to me. Quarterback's playing the best. Their running back's playing the best. Their defense is playing the best.
If that's the case, then Paul, then again, we all expect it's going to be a rout. But if that's the case, and they pass the eye test, then how would they be kept out of the playoffs should they stumble?
Because they haven't played anyone. And Dan's correct. That's not really Dabo's fault. Texas A&M was supposed to be a good team. They're a 7-5 team. South Carolina went 4-8. Those are their 2 big non-conference games. And the ACC speaks for itself. I mean, they are playing the University of Virginia. In football, not basketball. In football for the ACC championship.
Tony Collins had those defensive guys playing.
And you will not have a problem finding a ticket Saturday night in Charlotte, I promise you.
Yeah, I imagine that it won't be a sellout, but we'll certainly see. Also, Georgia beat 4 ranked opponents this year.
Where'd you go to school?
I didn't go to Georgia. I'm just a Georgia fan, like most Georgia fans that have never went to Georgia. Coming up on Get Up, it's a hard school to get into, Dan. The Seahawks and Vikings battling right to the final moments in a game with major playoff implications. We'll discuss when we come back on Get Up. Stick around.
We had just lost the national championship game to Auburn on a field goal.